Alright, how are we guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about top 5 supermotos, at least in my opinion. So let's jump into the video guys. Thanks for watching. Alright, starting with number 1, in my opinion, it's got to be the Ducati Hypermotard 950, the SP and the standard one. I love what they've done to this bike. I think it's the best looking out of all the supermotos by quite a lot, in my opinion. I just think it looks amazing. I think it's the best supermoto for the street. I think with the extra power, I think it's got the most power out of all the supermotos as well. And yeah, I think I also think it's got the best equipment on it. It's got the Öhlins, the SP, beautiful dash. So yeah, it's got the works. It's pretty much, you know, your ultimate flashy street fighter. Yeah, so I think, you know, if you've got the money, I think that bike is hard to beat. Now coming in at number 2, I would say would be the Suzuki DRZ 400, the SM. This is a bike I personally was looking at a few years ago. I think it's a great option, smaller displacement supermoto. I think it's another one's pretty hard to beat, especially in the price point that it's at. I think you can pick up a second-hand one for around 7,000 or 8,000 here in Australia, which is, you know, awesome. And it's also learner legal, so if you're on your restricted license, this is about one of the only ones that you can get as a Lamb supermoto. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean, the dash is very, very, very simple, you know, and it being a 400, it's obviously, you know, it wouldn't be best geared for freeway use and all the rest of it. But yeah, still a great option and a great looking bike. I think the color schemes are really nice. The new one, put a few photos up now, the grey and blue. I think it looks fantastic. But yeah, it's just one of those bikes I think you got to do a few things to, and it's pretty much set up. I think you know, shove an exhaust on there and change the sprockets a little bit so it's better for the freeway. But apart from that, I think it's, you know, it's perfect. Alright guys, so number 3 on my list would be the Husqvarna 701. Now this is a bike that I love. I absolutely love this bike. I think the way it looks, I think it looks awesome. It's very raw. It's definitely, you know, basically a stripped down supermoto. And being a 701, it's got all the power. It's not overly priced as well. Here in Australia, they're about 17 grand, I believe, which is pretty good. And yeah, and I think it's, you know, again, it's very stripped back, very basic dash. But yeah, I think it's, you know, it's definitely on my list as soon as I get off my restricted license to go and give that bike a go. It'll be right up on my list to purchase. But yeah, I mean, I think I would lean towards the Ducati, just the basic 950. I think the price point, they're pretty similar. They're a few $1,000s difference. But yeah, for the yeah, it'd be interesting to ride them back to back and see what they're like. I know the Husqvarna is definitely going to be a bit more raw. But yeah, it'd be very interesting. Okay, so coming in at number 4 on my list is very similar to the Husqvarna, pretty much the same bike, is the SMC 690. Again, same engine as the Husqvarna, little bit different looks, I reckon. I actually prefer the Husqvarna, but yeah, it's another great option. It's also very basic, stripped down, raw supermoto, very basic, you know. I'm pretty sure it has an up and down quick shifter, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's very back to basics. But yeah, it's also another great option. Oh Jesus, these are but yeah, I reckon just on the looks wise, I think the Husqvarna just gets it in my opinion. But yeah, another good bike that I'm going to be riding soon, guys, so that'll be up on the channel soon, next couple of months. But yeah, it's definitely number 4 on my list. And number 5 on my list is actually it's basically an enduro motocross bike, the Honda CFR 450L, I believe. Now this is another bike that I actually recently looked at before I bought this bike. The only problem with it is you've got to do a few things. You got to buy new rims. You got to buy obviously some street tires. You got to change the sprockets, and you got to change the brakes to something a bit beefier, because you know it's an enduro, basically a dirt bike that you're converting. But yeah, so a bit of work to be done on that bike. That's why it comes in at number 5 on my list. But another great option for just that ultimate sort of raw supermoto. But yeah, it's quite costly. It'd end up costing you, I reckon, about 20 grand all up here in Australia, which, you know, you can get a lot of bikes for that here. But yeah, it's you know, and also it's, I think the servicing, you have to do it quite often, being a dirt bike. It is an enduro bike, so it does require servicing quite often. And you know, you can actually, there's a few other options out there, like dirt bikes that you can convert as well. The Husqvarna obviously have a 501 and a 450, I think, but you do have to, you know, spend that extra money, you know, converting them, and then the servicing cost is quite high, and also a lot of those bikes don't come with a key, so they're just basically, you can start them up and, you know, take off. So that's the reason why I didn't go down that path. Otherwise 100% would have. But yeah, it's quite costly. Other than that, guys, that's where I really wanted to go with this video. Just my opinion, my top 5. So yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying the videos. Please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more regular videos. Thanks, guys.